All right, so welcome everybody to Carver's Twigs Bird of the Day. I'm joined by Sleepy Char, and today we're going to talk about a little bird. And so, what little bird are we talking about? Well, we're talking about a little bird. Yeah, bird of the day already because you can't pause Sea of Thieves. So, we're doing it right away so that we don't lose our session. But you're here, Budgie Eater, so you get your bird of the day. We're going to do a great bird of the day. So, what kind of bird? What kind of bird do we got today? I did say it was a little bird. Well, this bird is one that I didn't really know too much about today, and it's a bird called the Ovenbird. Look at that! Look at that little angry guy. Look at him! Look at him! He's so angry. He's yelling at something, singing his song. They're cute little guys, and he's named after a household appliance. Isn't that cute?
Say he's got a pretty hot temper. Ha! Ha!
Yeah.
Get it, oven?
Oh, ho, ho. That bird can't. Wait, Bentai's here. He must be eating dinner or something. He'll be in soon. Alright, well, as I said, they are little birds. Only 4.3 to 6.3 inches long, and that includes their tail. So, he's pretty little bird. It's like finch sized. Pretty small, pretty small. The wingspan 7.5 to 10.2 inches. So, I mean, that kind of sounds big, but I mean, seriously, when you get a bird with his wings spread all the way out, he's pretty small, pretty small. I mean, they weigh on average just 2/3 of an ounce. So you barely notice him sitting on them. Now, as for the lifespan, they didn't really give like a proper lifespan. The oldest banded one ever was like 11 years and a few months old. But for a little bird, it's just like, well, little birds have really high mortality their first year of life. And so, I mean, average lifespan is probably like 2 years. And, you know, it's like one of those little birds. It's like every year they're alive, they have a 50-50 chance of surviving the year. Because not many little birds die of old age. They die of bigger animal. It's just the way it is for a little bird. Now, one of the reasons I picked this bird is because I want a bird that hangs out in the Caribbean region, because it's like Pirates of the Caribbean. And as you can see on the map there, they do hang out in the Caribbean. Now, you're wondering what's the yellow, what's the blue? The yellow is where they hang out in the summertime, and the blue is where they hang out in the wintertime. They are little migrating birds. So, yep, they like it. They like it warm, but they don't like it too warm. They don't like those tropic summers, but the tropic winters. Oh boy, give me those tropic winters. They got it right. Okay, so yeah, they're migratory birds. And obviously those gray areas in between them, you might see them during the migration season, which is early spring and late fall. But that's pretty much where you're gonna find them. They're gonna build their nests on the northern and eastern sides of the United States and southern parts of Canada. And yep, they like Mexico and Central America and the Caribbean in the winter. Oh, and Florida. I don't know why. I don't want to recommend going to Florida.
As a native, I would also not recommend going to Florida.
See, Char understands. Char understands. Now, you may be wondering, why are they called an ovenbird? Well, it's because of their nests. Their nests are shaped like little Dutch ovens. And so that's why I call them the ovenbird. And there's a picture of their nest down there. What's wrong about Florida? Well, I can tell you what's wrong with Florida by just telling you to Google the phrase Florida man. And it should tell you everything you need to know. Am I right, Sleepy Char?
I mean, I have strong opinions on Florida Man because I feel like it's misrepresentation of what Florida is. Not saying that Florida is good, just that Florida Man is a gross misrepresentation of all the bad Florida has to offer.
Nevada man would be equally nuts if there was a sunshine law here. Yeah, that is a big part of why Florida is so is like Florida news outlets are allowed to publicize things that other states aren't allowed to. And so all the crazy shit that happens in Florida all gets reported in the news. So crazy stuff is probably happening. I'm not actually here, but drink some water. Okay. Well, thanks for the hydrate, Farmyard Crow. But anyway, this isn't state of the day. This is bird of the day. We're talking about little Dutch oven building birds. So as you can see, their nest is kind of like that weird orange shape where it's like a really whole enclosure thing with the little hole in the front. And that's how they build it. And the females will build it soon after they found a mate. And they'll layer stuff on top. And they usually try and camouflage it with like bigger twigs and sticks on top. But the inside is actually really densely packed. They use a lot of mud. And they like sunbake it. It's actually a pretty cozy, warm little nest that they build for themselves. It's pretty nice. But here's the thing: is that when the babies are first in it, it's fine for them. But then the babies get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they kind of outgrow it, and they'll start to like break the nest apart as they get too big for it. And that's just that's kind of the way it goes. But so yeah, the nests are basically one-time usage things. Now, one of the things about the Ovenbird is you got a very loud song. Very, very loud song. And the males will often like sing together and like they'll blend into each other. So you might hear just one long, continuous bird song. And it may seem to you like it's just one bird singing for a really long time, but it's actually different males like having their songs blend into each other to create a long one, which I think is kind of neat. Anyway, I got a little sound clip I want to play for you. This is kind of what they sound like. As you can tell, very loud. Except right now. Yeah, they pretty loud little birds. They're gonna cheep loudly. So if you're out and you hear this call, it's gonna be an Ovenbird, which now I think it's a call that could be easily mistaken for the call of a warbler or the call of a wren. It's a little bit distinct, but yeah, a lot of those small birds, it's like they can sound pretty similar. But yeah, it's a pretty good, powerful song. I like it. They're good little singers. And so yeah, they're mostly solitary, hanging around. In the wintertime, they will flock up a little bit in the wintertime. But for the most part, they're solitary, except when they're raising babies, and a mating pair will stick together. And 3 to 6 eggs per clutch, 1 to 2 broods per year. The females do all the incubating while the male protects the territory, but then once the babies are born, both parents are gonna protect and feed the little babies. So, good fathers, pretty good fathers. And these little guys, they're bug eaters. They will eat berries and seeds if it's time of the year where there's not too many insects around. If it gets a little too cold, they'll eat some stuff, but they very much prefer the little bugs, little ants and grasshoppers and flies. Whatever they can get their little beaks on. They like the meat. Go to a bug house. It's like a little buffet for them. They like it. Yeah, you ever eat bugs, Char? You ever had bugs?
I've never. Well, actually, I can't say that. Back when I was among the living, I did have what is it? Roasted grasshoppers.
Ooh.
Which like they put like this Cajun powder on them and then roast them real crunchy. They weren't bad. It wasn't the worst thing I have ever had. Not like my preferred snack, but not the worst thing. Also, chocolate covered ants, pretty good because if you cover anything in enough chocolate, you don't even know you're eating an ant.
It's true. Yeah. Yes, we know that you like ants, Rodney. Oh, you make biscuits out of cricket meal. Interesting. Very good, very good. All right. And the last little bit of interesting thing about these guys is that the famous poet Robert Frost wrote a poem about ovenbirds. And as it happens to be, it's not a super long poem, so I'm going to read it for y'all. Give you a little sampling of poetry night coming up on Saturday. This would be a good one to read. I was hoping I could get Kyoko to read this, but I didn't have time. All right, so this is The Ovenbird by Robert Frost. There is a singer everyone has heard, loud, a midsummer and a midwood bird, who makes the solid tree trunks sound again. He says that leaves are old and that for flowers Midsummer is to spring as 1 to 10. He says the early petal fall is past, when pear and cherry bloom went down in showers, on sunny days a moment overcast. And comes that other fall we name the fall. He says the highway dust is over all. The bird would cease and be as other birds, but that he knows in singing not to sing. The question that he frames in all but words is what to make of a diminished thing. That was The Ovenbird by Robert Frost. Nice little poem.
It was very nice.
Yeah. All right. So, guess you're just gonna move on to thoughts. I would say, I think Ovenbird's pretty cool. Put cool little nest. Nice little song. An inspiration to poets. I don't think that they're the most, they're not an extravagant bird. They're not gonna be an all-star bird, but they're just nice, cute little, happy little pasture-farm birds. It's just good little typical bird, and one that they don't get quite as much recognition as your sparrows or finches, and I think maybe they
Drink
deserve a
some
little more.
water.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're the type of bird that I like to call garden decoration, because like they're the perfect bird to like have like chilling out in a garden or something, because they're like almost stereotypical in like their small stature. Like they're like birds you'd see flying around like a little outside garden area.
Absolutely. And they do have kind of a pretty coloration. I like that it's got that little hint of green in their feathers. Nice
Yeah, it's a very
spotted
earthy
thing.
tone.
Yeah, pretty little birds. As far as I can tell, the males and the females look pretty much the same in this species. So, there's a few little minor differences, but hard to spot just when observing them. But yeah, they're good little birds, and I'd be very happy to see one in my yard. But I don't think they're gonna be winning Bird of the Month awards. But for today, they were a very good Bird of the Day.